This showdown is without parallel. The nation's 45th and 46th presidents, still seeking to define one another in the earliest general election debate in memory. An old duel being fought on new ground.
All right, we're back with Dan Perry. I cannot believe that 4 years has gone by since we saw the two in this debate. I think it's going to be like, a Mike Tyson match. It's as crazy as it is. It's going to be something where, a real... no love lost between those two.
Mike Tyson at 80.
Right, exactly. Yeah, Mike Tyson at 80.
You watch this in amazement. I mean, America has a credible case for being the greatest nation on earth, and these are the two candidates that somehow have contrived to be the candidates.
At such an important time in history, too.
Critical time. Yeah. I mean, Trump talks a lot of nonsense, but when he said in the debate a couple of years ago that, we risk World War III, that was true. And it's more true today. And look, Trump is a convicted felon. He's a person whose own party's leadership, like McConnell, is blaming him for a deadly riotous insurrection at the Capitol. He's among the least popular politicians in America, and that now applies to Biden as well, who is the oldest candidate to ever conceive of running for president, and who's visibly and disturbingly slowed by the years. I mean, and understandably so. I'm not saying anything about his mental faculties, but he looks slowed.
Yeah.
And this is causing a lot of concern. And meanwhile, the Democrats are, of course, terrified of the insurgent candidacy of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, so talk about that, because he may be the silent horse. I mean, running as an independent, obviously the son of Bobby Kennedy, and you are also on his podcast. So, I mean, where does he stand? I mean, we hear some inklings. We see him working out and he's in shape, but not taking part in the debate.
He's a relative youth compared to these guys.
That's true.
Very sharp, very, very interested in Israel. We did have a conversation about what is needed to bring about peace in the Middle East. And by the way, I argued that America needs to carry a bigger stick with all sides. And be more activist. That clearly won't be Trump. Trump is, if anything, has an isolationist gene in his DNA. And it also isn't Biden, who's tolerating the Houthis' madness in Yemen, more or less. So anyway,
and Robert F. Kennedy able to get even the American hostages back, right?
Robert F. Kennedy is a very dangerous insurrectionist candidate for the Democrats, because his history, of course, is democratic. And in American elections, because it's winner take all and the plurality suffices, when a third-party candidate attaches more to one side than the other, it divides the vote and guarantees the victory of the other side.
Right. That's
what happened with Perot, who got Clinton elected. That's what happened with Nader, who got
Perot. Wow.
Nader got Bush Jr. elected, and the fear is that Kennedy will get Trump elected. Now, Kennedy argues that he actually takes from Trump as well, and polls suggest it's true to a degree, but everything is on a knife's edge. Remember, because of America's very bizarre electoral system, even though Biden won by like almost 8 million votes, in the 4 key states that flipped it for him, the sum total is some tens of thousands of votes.
Right,
that was a margin. He can't afford to lose 1/100 of 1%.
Well, is it true, you think, that in a way it comes down to Pennsylvania, because it's really evenly split, that, because it's such a big, they have so many more, obviously, electoral votes, it really could come down
Pennsylvania,
to 1 or 2
Michigan,
states.
Georgia, Nevada, Arizona. It comes down to a handful of states. And I mean, again, it's a bizarre electoral system. The others don't matter. The biggest states in the U.S., population-wise, New York and California, don't matter. because they're automatically Democratic. No one even bothers to go there. So basically, they've made tremendous efforts to keep Robert F. Kennedy Jr. off the debate stage.
But even legally, doesn't he have to be included in a debate? Or it's
the legal bit is
presidential debates throughout history have been so important to the election.
Here's how fuzzy it is. Presidential debates, and it's not exactly like state law, but the regulations guiding them, for one thing, at this point, require the people on stage to have been nominated by some party. Note that neither Biden nor Trump are yet the nominee because the conventions haven't happened in either case.
And Trump's going to be sentenced before the convention, which will be, what does that mean?
Utter insanity. But of course, the fact that they agreed to this shows you that Biden feels he needs a game changer.
Yeah.
So Biden had better be on his best game next Thursday.
Wow, everybody's going to be watching. Even the issues aside, it's just to see those two going at it again is going to make headlines for sure. Dan Perry, thank you very much for your insight, as always.